back to the Candle Boys. Today we're talking about the newest episode of To Be Hero X. What you think?
Man, that answered a lot of questions I had over the last couple episodes.
Facts.
It was good.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he was the stalker made it even funnier because his problem with his power is that it allows him to do all this crazy stuff. Right? When it comes to assassination, like skill with knives, but he can't speak at all. At first, I thought he just didn't want to, because that's kind of how the vibe he gave off. But even if he wanted to, because his trust value is so high, and his believers have such a hard view of him, he literally is incapable of talking. And it just hit in so many different ways this episode. Because even Rock, who was in charge of him, was like, who would he even be on the phone with right now? Why can he not answer my call? Now I really get it. I'd be pissed too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was interesting seeing his whole family backstory, coming from a butcher, everything, and he hated the sound, how loud everything got. So
yeah, he's a simple dude. I mean, in a really twisted way, but it really was a simple guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
All he wanted was a quiet life, doing what he wanted to be good at, and call it a day. You know, he was even happy to just be a butcher. He wanted to be an assassin, but he was like, being a butcher is cool. And he randomly blows up, bro, on social media for being an attractive butcher guy. And that gets him right, bro. He goes from that to a straight up assassin hero, which to me is do people know what he actually does?
Hey, they must have been
That's
okay
crazy.
with it. They're okay with it. They kept posting him. He kept growing. I was like, man, this is some drill gold board.
I'm just gonna assume maybe most of his missions he's killing really dangerous villains. So I was otherwise we only really saw him on missions low-key hunting down heroes. So I'm
oh yeah, he took advantage of just being an assassin. Once he got that chance, he left his family. Was like, all right, I'm out. Couldn't even say yes to the dude who said, "Do you want to work for us?"
He didn't ask no questions, bro. He don't ask questions about his missions. He don't do no background checks to see if it's worth it or not.
That's gonna come back to haunt him. I feel like
for sure, man. Because that's messed up. That's just messed up.
You gotta know your target.
Facts. You know what I mean? He just takes whatever Rock or whoever he works for says for it and just calls it a day.
And Rock ain't the most trustful either we've seen.
And the other thing too was we saw that it wasn't Rock who recruited him initially. It was Shen something. The dude that was the other dude's dad from the Esol episode. Remember the guy who died? Yeah, that was his son. So everything is still tied together, and somehow he went from being under him to being under Rock now. So there's a lot going on right now on the show. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
But it was definitely crazy seeing that not only was he so dedicated to the silent life, the girl he ends up being with ends up being low-key more nonchalant than him initially. You know what I mean?
Always on their phone.
Yeah, facts. And I was that was just the weirdest romance I've ever seen, but they were low-key made for each other, so it at least made sense. So from his perspective, I could see how he was kind of heartbroken when she switched up and she was like, nah, I need to be a good parent. And we need to be able to communicate and talk. And he was just
I can't do that.
I've never been able to talk.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Once that kid came, it changed everything.
For sure, man. It's their relationship kind of fell apart, but at the same time, he's still trying to be there in his kid's life, but just ends up being the creepy stalker that's been stalking her for 20 years instead.
Why couldn't the mom just tell him? But the mom said that she thought he was dead, so that must be tough on him just sneaking around.
Well, it's because they kind of agreed to she just takes the baby and raises it on his own. He probably still sent her resources and stuff because I'm assuming he's making good money. He does care about her and the kid. It's just his predicament with his powers. Even by the time he realized he wanted to do it, he just couldn't at all. And Loki was right because I said that he was standing in her room and I was like, why is he in her a little girl's room? It just didn't look right. And so yeah, him being the father, it all makes sense now, bro. He was just trying to make sure his girl was one, safe, and two, make sure he knew more about her. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to learn about the things she liked, so that he could really understand her and be able to interact with her at some point. But
she still ended up in the hero space, creating tech and everything.
That was interesting.
Though. Yeah.
She's a nepo baby. She's a girl that doesn't know it. As soon as they put her name down on anything, they're like, oh, that's Ghostplay's kid. You know what I mean? She's got connections despite whether she's aware of that being her connection or not. So
exactly.
I'm not surprised by that at all. you know, because they like to use like whatever they can to control the heroes too. So like being like, hey, I employ your daughter, you know, that's like another bag that, or another trick they might have in their bag when it comes to him in particular.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was just a crazy backstory. I enjoyed it a lot, kind of watching the episode in reverse from the other perspective and seeing that like Homie really wasn't like on some demon timing. He literally just can't do much about it, you know? Like he really has to just like sit there and text her or something in order to get that across.
100%. And that's maybe why it worked out with his wife, because they were just texting. But going back to that fight scene that he had, it was way better than the fight scene that they had a couple episodes before.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
From his perspective, for sure.
They're both moving.
And maybe that's just like the difference in experience too, right? Because maybe from her perspective, it looked like he was just like blitzing because she couldn't really like keep up with him. But from his perspective, we saw it like really well articulated. So
Oh yeah.
it was definitely tough to see, man. But these like last couple episodes, I don't even know like who's even in the right or wrong anymore. Because obviously, like the guys who were trying to gain access to the fear, they're plotting something absolutely devious. But you can also tell that like even with Rock, when the scientist dude, Bobby's dad, ends up getting access to the fear from the spacecraft, he was low-key trying to like plot on how he can be like involved in it and start like learning things that he's not supposed to know too. So it's going to be crazy to see what happens once this becomes like widespread with the heroes and the villains, you know?
What about that monster he saw? They never went back to that.
They did,
Homie's
bro.
just chilling. They like to tease us with that.
Maybe that was like something that guy he killed summoned.
And it was the same one that Queen saw too. So I wonder if it was the same event.
It might have been
Different spots.
same event. Most likely, honestly, this show's really good at tying stuff together.
Oh yeah.
So I could definitely see that being the case. But this one was definitely a doozy because honestly, even by the time it ended kind of right where we were anyway last episode. So like it felt like it ended too fast just because obviously we're still seeing the retelling of the stuff, but it's still kind of the same episode.
Oh yeah.
So I'm definitely excited to see where they go next with it. Y'all let us know what y'all thought of this episode of 2B Hero X. This is crazy, man. I don't know if y'all expected Ghostplay to be the father, but y'all let us know down below. Aside from that, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all. Peace.